Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Guess what time it is? Guess what time it is? It is 8 p.m. Central on April 3rd. Going live again tonight, Friday night, April 3rd. Be quick message tonight. And here's what's cool tonight. We are actually, we're broadcasting on 4 streams tonight all at once. This is pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. I'm going to actually try to broadcast as well on a 5th, but we're broadcasting on 4 streams tonight. We're on Master Networks Facebook page. We're on the Master Networks LinkedIn page. We're on my YouTube channel. We're on my Facebook page. Kevin, what's up, my man? Kevin says, let's do it. As you get on here, make some comments. I got a couple of quick thoughts for you tonight that I'm going to talk about. It's interesting. Some of you are in a place, some of us are in a place where we might have to start over, but I'm going to give you a couple thoughts tonight on what to do in your situation tonight. So as you get on here, if you would, make a comment so I know you're here, because we're on 4 streams tonight. As I said, we're on the Master Networks Facebook page, on the Master Networks LinkedIn page, my YouTube channel, and my business Facebook page. Sarah says, Master Networks Minnesota here. Hey. So listen, a couple of quick thoughts now. I got to share with you something that's pretty cool. I was just flipping through a little while ago. Good evening. I was flipping through some notes that I have, and here's what's interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I take these notebooks with me. Perry, what's up? I take these notebooks with me when I do training, right? And I was going through, and this was about 18 months ago. I took some notes, you guys. Really interesting what I was thinking 18 months ago and what it has to do with tonight. So here I am. This was me preparing for some stuff I was going to speak on, and I wrote some notes. This was a keynote. Now it's been about 2 years, almost 2 years ago to the date. I wrote about when I was getting ready to speak. Guys, this is fascinating what I'm going to share with you that I wrote down. Okay, a couple of thoughts. Welcome, Jay, Duke. Evening, my peeps. Jay says, thanks, Chaz. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So tag some friends. This message will be quick. We won't go an hour like we've been doing to Friday night. I want you guys to enjoy some time. My family's getting ready to do a movie night in our movie room. So spend some time with them. So I wanted to share with you, though, a couple thoughts that I had from 2 years ago as I was preparing to give a keynote. And I was talking about selling. I was talking about the power of sales. And an interesting note I was telling my story about, about 2008, 2009, 2010. And if you guys remember the economy then, right, what happened with the real estate market, economy struggled. And how many of you went through that chaos and that mess? And I was, welcome, Stephanie. I was highly leveraged in real estate back in that time. And it was a really tough time. And in fact, I remember, for those of you who've read my second book, Now Make Good, I talk about having $27 in the bank account many times, even having less than that at sometimes. And it was so challenging. But guys, I wrote this 2 years ago. I wrote this note down as I was preparing to talk about how selling and getting really good at my skill set, right? My skill sets and understanding what they are and getting clear with them. I got really powerful on my skill sets, my mindset, my skill set, my network. But here's the thing. I wrote down in my book, guys, this is crazy. As I prepared for this, talking about selling and how that brought me out of that mess. I wrote, I will not let the next economic collapse take me down. Isn't that powerful? Kind of eerie to read that 2 years later. I wrote about that and I talked about that 2 years ago. And in fact, in December, in my regional partner call with all my partners, I said, just this last December, I said, I challenged all of them that we were in the fall economically, meaning it's good. The harvest was good. We were reaping it. We were kind of picking it all up. And I said to them, the winter's coming. I don't know how, when, and I'm not saying like I was right or I knew. I just knew at some point the winter was coming. I didn't think it was going to be that fast, to be honest. And I challenged them all to have $10,000 minimum saved and set aside. And so it's been interesting. Well, I looked back at my notes for my keynote from 2 years ago and the things that got me through. And I want to share with you 3 points tonight that will help you in this market and in this marketplace. So as you come on here, please make sure you share this. As again, I said 2 years ago when preparing for this, I said, don't let the next economic downturn take you down. So here's an interesting thing, right? So number one, here's the thing I want to ask you, and I'm gonna put it in the comments here. So welcome. I'm gonna put this in. So here's number one, right? Number one, you'll be able to see this up on the screen here in just a second, right? Never, here's number one, you ready? Hopefully you're taking some notes. Never be afraid. For those of you who are taking notes, I'll wait. Never be afraid to go out and solve a big problem. That's number one. Okay. Never be afraid to go out and solve a big problem right now. This is huge, right? Welcome, Barb. This is big right now. So you don't have to be an expert to solve the problem. You guys remember, in fact, I have still here over here on my desk. I still have, this is all the stuff on the 7A and 7B loans that I went out and I just tried to be, learn as much as I could about this so I could share that with you guys. But I'm not an expert. You don't have to be an expert. But it was a problem that a lot of people needed some help with. So I went out and did that, right? And that was the same thing back in 2010, which is why we started Master Networks in 2011, is there was some challenges in the marketplace. And I went out to try to solve a big problem, to bring people together through community, through education, etc. Right now, there's big problems out there. How can you solve a big problem? Some of you are going to have to change. Some of you are going to start over. And that's okay. Look for the blessing in it. I started over. I started from a different career, started over, and launched Master Networks. And at the time, my identity, see, I'm writing about this in my book, Impact. Zach, welcome. Guys, I wrote about this in my new book, that my identity was wrapped up in being in real estate. And then starting over felt like every part of me had to start over. But that's not accurate, right? I was still me. I was still who I am, but what I did just became different. And if you go out in the world and you are not afraid to solve big problems, you can get through it, okay? I mean, big problems to the point that we started saying, how big can Master Networks get? How big of a mission can we help entrepreneurs across the country? How much of that can we do? And so we started to take on that mission, and I wrote something down. This is how big our mission is, right? What's the cause? What's the purpose, right? That we wanted to build a legacy beyond the business. This was 2 years ago I was writing about this. And so to look at it now, it's kind of interesting. And I started to write big dreams. What's up, Tina? Hi from New York. Welcome. Right? Tina says hello from New York. So number one, to get through this, like we got through this in 2010, 2011, launched Master Networks. You'll get through this too, but some of you might have to start over, and it's okay. Some of you might be changing careers. What I want you to do is look internally. What's the skill set you are best known for? I'm going to talk about this in just a second, and you're going to embrace that. But number one, what's the problem you could go out and solve? Big problem. Okay? Don't be afraid to go out and solve that. All right? Don't be afraid of that. Okay. Number two, I'm just typing this as fast. I'm seeing the comments coming in. All right. Number two, take action. This is what I'm seeing right now. Yeah. Barb says I've had to start over several times. I get it. I get it. Me as well. I've had to start over several times, and some of you are going to have to, and it's okay. But some of you are going to get really clear about your skill sets, and then you're going to take action. Here's the other thing about taking action. Taking action is one of the great healers. What I mean is, some of you are fearful right now. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are struggling. Some of us are whatever. Action is one of the great healers to help you move out of that feeling. Okay? Some of the loudest voices right now driving what's happening in the world are the non-doers, because they're not doing anything. So all they're doing is just saying stuff. Right? Voicing their opinion, but not taking action, while the rest of you are taking action. Understand that taking action and massive action is one of the great healers, okay? It's important. Replace your depression, replace your excuses, replace your frustrations, replace your fear, replace all of that with action. Take action. It might not be right? You might make a mistake. It's okay. Take action, right? Do things that get into productivity. Yes, Sarah says it. When I get into productivity, my whole mindset changes. Sarah and I have actually talked about this recently, right? We have good days. It's okay. You have bad days. It's okay. But just don't stay there for a long time. Get into action, get into productivity, do something that moves this along. And a lot of that is what many people have to do, which is number 3, was you really need to embrace your skill set. Embrace your skill set. Okay? Embrace your skill set. What is your skill set? What is your skill set? Right? This is great. Duke says, get honest, get clear, make a plan, take action. So true. First of all, getting honest is the key. Getting honest about what your skill set is. What's your value? Then get clear about it. Clarity brings power. Make a plan, take action. Thank you, Chess, for taking action for all of us. You're amazing. I appreciate all you do. You've made a big difference in my life. Oh, I appreciate that, Barb. Appreciate that a lot. Take action, but embrace your skill set. Here's something to write down. Oh, this is so powerful. So looking again, I'm back in my notes from 2 years ago, preparing for this keynote. So powerful and how timely it is for what we're doing today, right? And I said, who has, this is interesting, think about this, you guys, right now in your skill set, who has, meaning they have in the past, or would write you a big check for your skill set right now? Think about that. Right? A lot of us at times, we go into a fishing analogy. A lot of us are chasing bluegill when we should be chasing blue marlins because our skill set solves such a big problem. Okay? How big of a problem can you solve? There's a lot of big problems right now. There's going to be more coming up. And can you pivot and take action? I'll give you an example. Just even today, as I reached out to other speakers, keynote speakers, authors, coaches, etc., some of their businesses have shut down 70, 80% because all of the speaking opportunities that they have, right? All of the speaking opportunities, the training that they do. As there are some people out there right now who train on very specific skill sets on how to do something. For example, maybe how to write a book, how to launch a podcast. They're very good at it. They've coached people through launching successful podcasts, things like that, right? They have a really powerful skill set that they can teach others. But right now, nobody's filling events, obviously, right? There's no events for them to go speak at. So what do? Right? How do they pivot? And honestly, some of them haven't done a great job with it. In our conversations, they're like, Chaz, I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, in the time you're sitting here trying to figure out what to do, you could have made 3 mistakes along the way, which would have showed you now some clarity on what to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, Barb, you need to. She said, my story I need to share with others so I can be a blessing to others. Okay, so here you go, right? So I'm talking to these speakers, and I said to them, hey, what if I put together like an online summit where you can come teach what you do to a bunch of people, and I get all of these people together and I have them teach on an online summit and bring that value to my members? Well, that might just solve a big problem. Number one, they get in front of more people, they get to teach their massive skill set. And number two, my community gets this stuff right now, frankly, at a discounted rate than what they would pay for this stuff in the future, right? Or normally. For example, some of these guys are teaching this stuff for $3,000 for their course, for their, $3,000 for their whole package. I'm like, what if $30, I could give that, $30 a person, I could give that to hundreds of people. You see what I mean? The opportunities are huge right now. You just have to embrace it. And you got to go look for those problems that are in the marketplace right now that you can solve. What's your skill set? Right? Dude, great photographer. Right? Chris says online summit is brilliant. Yes, thank you. We're actually working on that now as of this afternoon. So we'll look for in a few weeks to bring an online summit together of some of the world's best. Guys, go back and look at the podcast that we do every Monday, right? Dave Jenks will be this Monday coming up. He'll be my guest. Caroline, welcome. Look at the podcast. Look at all the guests that we've had on this podcast. We can bring some of their talent together. Well, what does that do? That goes back to the 3 things we just talked about, right? Never be afraid to go out and solve a big problem. It's a big problem, not just for the end user who wants to watch it, but look at all these speakers who don't have anyone to share this wisdom with. So we go out, we try to solve the problem. Number two, take action. As soon as we brought it up, we start talking about, well, who could we get? I don't know. Well, let's just take action. Let's start asking. Number two, what do we charge? I don't know. Well, let's just take action and start. Let's get some feedback from people. Number three, how are we going to deliver it, right? All those things start to come into your mind. You got to push that aside and just take action. And number three, embrace your skill set. Look, I have some skill set I could add to it, but the other skill set is, part of it is my network. I could bring them together to deliver that to you. Right? So my question is for you, what's the skill set right now that you can embrace that can go out and solve a big problem? What is that right now? You know, there's hundreds now, and in fact, hundreds, not even hundreds. There's been thousands of people that have watched these Facebook Lives that I've been doing every night, right? Well, somebody was on the other night and messaged me on Facebook, private message, and said, hey, I think that I have some value to the marketplace, but I have been really feeling guilty that I'm not getting out there and being a voice right now, was basically it. We went back and forth and we spoke, right? And we spoke, and I said to her, you need to put your own fears aside right now. Your skill set is this knowledge. Maybe your skill set isn't delivering it right now how you feel like you're not good on Facebook maybe, or you're not good on Facebook Live. I mean, look, I'm not either, okay? But practice has made it better. Practice has made it easier, okay? And I said, your clients, your people, they need you to be a voice right now. You need to embrace that skill set and get in front of them. Now is not the time for ego to get in the way or fear to get in the way. It's not, okay? Like, look, okay, here we are. It's 8:15 Central Time, 8:17 Central Time on a Friday night. Okay, look, I threw on a t-shirt, pullover, a hat. My family's getting food ready right now to do a movie night. And I'm like, it's been a long couple of weeks doing these Facebook Lives. I'm just being straight with you guys. I'm like, I want to do it. I've got this message. I started looking through and I went back to old notes that inspired me. But here's what keeps me going on this. I know right now someone on this Facebook Live needed to hear exactly what I said tonight. It might not be you, the one that's listening, but it's somebody, right? Every night somebody's been messaging me, man, I really appreciated the message. I've got off some Facebook Lives. I'm like, wow, that was a really powerful message. Got a lot of likes, got a lot of comments. And other nights I'm like, man, that message really fell flat. And yet I'll still get a message from somebody like, man, I needed to hear that today. And it's those messages that keep me going to do this every night. Guys, you owe it to the people that you serve to be a voice for them. Okay? You need to be that voice for them because people are struggling right now and they need to know the knowledge and the skill sets that you have, the mindset that you have, that you bring to the table. Look, my team today, look, this is how embracing what's going on right now is so important. My team today, we did this. We're trying to do a Zoom training for everyone on their chapter meetings. And in fact, Corey posted this in our private group today. So if you can imagine all the screens, right? All the Zoom screens, there's about 6 of us, 7 of us on here. Some of them are on this call right now. And one of them starts to change their background. You know, you can do the virtual backgrounds. And then another, and then me, and then another. And we all changed our virtual backgrounds. And it got silly, man. We were laughing tears. We were dying laughing about the backgrounds we were doing. Like, we derailed the call. Like, it went off the rails about what we were trying to train, right? It doesn't matter. Like, right now, sometimes that's what everyone needs, right? We all need to stay positive and be productive. Stephanie, I couldn't agree with that more about being positive and being productive. Someone said today on one of our training calls, he said, and he's right, but I said, I just wanted to clarify, it's not an either or, meaning this. He said, right now, make sure your marketing is about serving people and helping them. Like, and I was like, you're so right. However, it's not an either or. You can still serve people and still ask for business right now, right? Don't be afraid to still ask for business. See, I love this. Look at this. Sarah says, Barb, let's connect via Zoom next week. Yes. Yes, connect. That's the whole point right now, guys. And some places are talking about doing this for another 30 to 45 to 60 days. Okay? You've got to adapt. Some of you are going to have to start over. Right? So how do you do that? Let's go back. A quick recap on the 3. Never be afraid to go out and solve a big problem. And as I go back and I look at my notes, for those of you that hopped on late, these notes came from a keynote I did 2 years ago where I said, never be afraid to go out and solve a big problem. And I put in there, solve such a big problem that the next economic collapse will not bring me down like it did in 2009, 2010. Now, it just brought me down to my knees so that I could rise again. Okay? I'm going to share something in here too. It's a little bit vulnerable, but I'll share it with you. I just want to make sure. Don't be afraid to ask for the business. Yes, so true. Make the best of your current situation. You guys want to hear what I wrote 2 years ago about the vision that I had of where I wanted to take my organization? It's really a bold statement, and it's going to come off probably terribly cocky, but it was more about my own drive at the moment. I put this. Boy, I hope this comes out the way I meant it when I wrote it. I put someday, meaning like, and in context, I was talking about vision and where I wanted to build this company, and those, and I also wrote about so that I could talk about. Look, if nobody's hating on you right now, look, I get some messages after this where people are like, dude, you're not that inspiring. Like I'm telling you, like, and I don't care about that. That's not why I do this. But I've had some comments. And I don't know if it's just people trolling or sometimes people they're upset, so they want to say something. So anyway, I was in context of that. I put someday you will have to answer that there was a redheaded guy running a company that helps entrepreneurs that could change the world. And you said no. You said no to the opportunity. And I use that as a drive, like to all the people that hate. Someday you'll have to answer that, look, there was a guy that had this vision. And someday someone's going to have to answer to you, to your business, that there was a vision that you had that could change and solve a big enough problem. And someone said no. And that's okay. That's okay. Barb says, if you don't have a vision, then what are you working for? Look, the great proverb says that where there is no vision, the people will perish. So if you don't have a vision for it, there you go. Okay. Number 2, we'll recap with number 2. Number 2, action is the healer. Take action. Be in productivity. Take action, right? That's where you need to be. Number 3, embrace your skill set. What's your skill set, the value that you bring to the table here? Okay. Okay. What's your value that you bring to the table? Someday someone's going to have to answer they said no to your opportunity. That's okay. Just don't let it be you that said no to an opportunity that was right in front of you right now. There's a lot of them. This situation that we're going through will open up more opportunities for those of you who are looking. Isn't it funny how some people seem to find more opportunities than others? I think that the really talented entrepreneurs understand and can recognize good opportunities early, and they take action. That's the difference. They see the opportunity early and they take action. They don't wait for it to come about. Lynn says we should all make a powerful statement. Yeah, it's interesting. This was 2 years ago I wrote this. And I'm looking through those notes today and how timely it is right now to what we're talking about as entrepreneurs. Look, if you want to learn how to connect with a network like this, go to masternetworks.com. Whoops, right there. You can see it right at the top of the screen. Eric says, a mentor of mine always told me not to live in the circumstances, live in vision. Yeah, I like that, right? Looking forward while recognizing the place you're at. David said, awesome stuff. Thank you, David. I believe that Master Networks is going to blossom like a flower because of the way you've all kept us connected. Thank you, Stephanie. Like, I just feel, this is why I'm not afraid to ask for things right now, because I feel like this is more of a calling than a career, quite honestly. Caroline says, remember your why and let that drive you. Okay. Look, if you feel called to do something and it's a big enough problem you can solve, you'll always have people that you can help. And then it becomes something that you're driven to do. Duke says, how can we help? Look, here's the biggest way we can help. And several of you have asked that. And by the way, I appreciate that. I really, really do. What I would ask, here's my ask. Here's how you can help, right? You're doing so much than any other person. No, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, Barb. Look, here's the thing, and I'm not making this about me. And here's the point. Here's how you can help, Duke, and others that have asked. Please share these messages, right? We're downloading these right now as we speak. We're getting them loaded in the Master Networks University. You know, it's interesting. We uploaded this massive thing called Master Networks University the first day. Tons of people signed in. The next day, a little bit less. Next day, a little bit less. We're only averaging, think about this, there's just around 3,000 members of Master Networks, entrepreneurs that are basically home right now. We're only averaging 27 people logging in a day to Master Networks University. To me, that's like a tragedy. All the work, all the effort, all the value that's there, and people are just not logging in. So tell them about it. Remind them about it. Invite those you know who are in business to your network, to Master Networks. Invite them. That is honestly the best thing you could do to help me, because it helps them. And the more people we help, this is the brilliance of Master Networks, and not from me creating it, just the brilliance of how it's of what it's doing, is that when you add people to your network, you win. When you add people to your network, they win. When you add people to your network, we win. Does that make sense? And when I add people to my network, I win. When I add people to my network, they win. And when I add people to the network, you win. This is the whole thing. It's like this living organism. Talk about a virus that could grow and expand in a positive way. It's us. We're the vaccine. We're the antidote to this, if you will, to the economy, is Master Networks. That's us. That's what we're going to be. We need more people. Love that the email was sent out today about you going live daily for the last 3 weeks. Yes, thank you. MNU's amazing. So much value. I have a list. I put it right here. Guys, check this out. And Sarah's on here. I appreciate this today. Sarah sent me this. This is what we're doing. This is the list of videos that I'm going to be shooting over the next 3 weeks with the team to put even more in there, right? How about titles like this? You guys want to hear what we're doing? How about the financial mindset, the 8 rules of money? How about the power of your words in your marketing? What if we did the ultimate sales presentation? I'm going to do that one. I'm going to teach on how to reduce expenses in this time, right? Davin says, opportunities are always present. It depends on what you allow your mind to focus on. So true. If you program your mind to focus on opportunities, you will find them. If you program your mind to focus negatively, you'll find that also. So true. And if you guys, how about this, guys? I don't know if you noticed, how many times have I talked about this book right here, The Happiness Advantage, that I'm reading right now and just finished up? We posted that on Instagram, and guess who messaged me? Sean Anker, the author of this book, said he appreciated me sharing all the research that he did for the book. It's pretty cool, right? All because I've been talking about him, and he saw a photo of me with that book. Updated chapter PowerPoint starting next week. Yes, Sarah, thank you, and Corey, for all your work on that. For those of you running Master Networks meeting, we have brand new chapter PowerPoints for next week. Let's see. Here's just a quick. I'm going to do on how to improve your habits, how to improve your thinking that we were just talking about. Who and what to hire in a mentor. Right. I'm going to be talking about your leadership lid, how to transfer vision to those you train, teach, equip, and empower. How about those of you that saw my presentation on what it means to be a partner in business? Okay, I'm going to be doing training on all of these over the next 3 weeks that will be then be edited to go in the university. Okay, so again, remember, solve big problems to the world right now. What problems need to be solved? So big that people will call you crazy, right? So big that they'll call you crazy. And that one day they'll say, man, there was this lady, there was this guy that presented this opportunity to me, right? Use that as power that fuels you right now to grow your business. Okay? And who? Right now, I just, I've been reaching out to some people that I've been following for a while. And I said, hey, are you coaching? Are you mentoring on this area and that area? And they said, well, yeah, I am, actually, more than ever. I said, great, I'm interested. What's it going to cost? What does it look like? Why? Because right now, when everyone else is stopping, they're just trying to go through it. I'm trying to grow through it. because I know the gap will be much bigger on the other side of this. Your competition, think about it this way, guys, some of your competition's not going to survive this. They're going to have to start over doing something else. Look at how the playing field just got leveled. And I don't say that like, oh, they're casualties of war, but in some cases of this, they are. And that's going to happen. Just don't let it be you. You can either go through it or grow through it. It's your choice. Okay. And so go into this like going for mentors over money right now. I'm investing, not divesting. I am heavily investing in things right now. To every dollar that I can invest in something, either a mindset, a skill set, or my network, those three things, that's where I'm putting my money right now. Not worried about what's happening in the stock market. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm not watching the news. I'm not doing any of that. Does that mean, oh, I'm not paying attention? No, I'm paying attention. Look, guys, I'm going to tell you what. I don't say, again, I'm careful. I don't want to sound like I'm puffing my chest in this, but I'm focusing where I need to focus. What was it? I needed to focus on the SBA loans. That's where I put all my focus. I had calls with CPAs, bankers, regional vice presidents. They didn't even know this stuff. Why? Because they were just waiting for someone else to tell them. I'm like, guys, go look it up. It's right there. They're like, well, where did you hear that information? I'm like, right off the SBA's website. Go get the information, guys. This is not a time to be sitting on your hands. I say that with some emphasis and some energy because I don't want you to be a casualty of this, right? If you're not sure what I'm about SBA stuff, go back and watch my live from last night. Okay. So listen, you got a choice. You go through it or you grow through it. So take this weekend, re-energize, take some time, read, study, read a good book, go in the university, watch some courses this week, really, really plug in so that you get recharged. That's what happens, right? Your phone gets low on energy, you plug it in, it recharges. So you can then take on next week, because next week, I'm telling you guys, for some of you, April's going to be much harder than March, much harder. So are you charged? Are you plugged in? Are you just going to go through it or are you going to grow through this? That's the choice we all have to make right now. Some of your competitors are choosing to just lay down, right? They've laid down their weapons and they're just going to like become a prisoner of war of this and just say, well, look, woe is me. It happened to everyone. I can't meet with clients. Look, those are already starting. Those things are starting. Don't be that person, my friend. Don't be that person, right? Take action. Get into productivity. It will heal. Drop the excuses, drop the depression, drop all the things and get into productivity. Take action. All right, my friends, look, have a great weekend. Plug in Monday, 8 Central. I've got some more guests coming next week on these lives to bring more value to you. If there's anything I can do for any of you, anyone you want me to invite to the live that you think I need to have on here, let me know. I'll reach out. I'll invite them. We'll bring them to you. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to y'all soon. Be well.